Hi there everybody, it's me again, your friendly tracker's daughter, bringing you today, let's move this around a bit, there we go, bringing you today some stuff about sexuality and the meaning of, and actually about the social construct of sexuality. It wasn't up until before, say, for instance, we all say, oh yeah, I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm this and that, sexually, but there was no such. Simba, please leave that alone. Simba, thank you. There were no such thing as labels. Labels for your sexuality. Well, according to the book I've got here. 1869, for example, before there was even no word for someone who was attracted to their own sex, which is homosexual, or their own gender, as we say now, homosexuality. So basically, before then, there was no such word. There was no such label as somebody that was in love or wanted to be with someone of the same sex or same gender. Who's gender and the terms heterosexual and bisexual was coined even later, but it doesn't give me a date of when. It says here, before this period, people did not think of themselves as gay, straight, or bisexual, just as people today do not think of themselves and other in terms of people who like ketchup on their chips or people who prefer mayonnaise. And this is what I've been trying to say all along. Your sexuality does not define who you are as a person. I'm a trans woman. People look at me, the first thing they see is, oh look, there's a tranny. That's fine, but at the end of the day, I am a human person. Human being. I am human. I am a person. My name is Tony, and in October I shall be starting my criminal psychology course. With the Open University. This is a book from the Open University, which I did 2 years ago, Living Psychology from the Everyday to the Extraordinary, and this part of it is about exploring the psychology of sexual diversity. That was part of the course, and like I said, it's like it's who you are that counts, not what you are. Who I am is a person. I'd like to think I've got a kind heart. Lots of people will disagree with that because, well, they don't like me, and that's up to them, isn't it? You know. So, but I am my own person, and my sexuality has no bearing on who I am as a person. It does not define me as a person. My transgenderism does not define me as a person. It is just a part of me, and I suppose it's akin to people who are right-handed and people who are left-handed. Decades and decades ago, anybody who was left-handed had that beaten out of them because the left hand was the hand of the devil, and if you wrote left-handed, you were part of the devil, and it was beaten out of you, and you had to use your right hand. My brother, he's left-handed, but thankfully he wasn't beaten to make him right, to do things right-handed. So, well, as far as I'm aware, he's still left-handed. But it's things like that, and things like that should not. It is important to you as a person because it is a part of you, but it's only a small part of you. What is in here? What's in your heart? How you treat other people? That is the more important thing than your sexuality or your gender. It's like we're all human. We all bleed of the same colour, and that's what counts. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, or whatever. So, and we put too much pressure on our sexuality now, which I think doesn't need it at all. It's we should be who we are and go ahead with it. And another thing as well, I am gonna I am going to read out a few labels of sexuality that is in this book as well, and the description of what they mean. You see, personally, and I said this a couple of years ago, it's like, for instance, on 7th of September, there's the Gay Pride by 5 miles away in Totnes, which I want to go to, and a few people want to go to as well. But what I don't get, number one, yes, fine, you have a Pride Day, Gay Pride Day. That is wonderful. You know, be proud of who you are. But on the same level, the people who hate labels, being labelled by society, go and label themselves. Why would you do that? You know, you said, oh, I hate being boxed in and pigeonholed into this kind of gender or this kind of sexuality by society. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. No, I can understand that. But why are you pigeonholing yourself into a gender or sexuality or sexual preferences or whatever? I just don't understand that. Even psychologically, I really don't understand that. Is it because one wants to step away from the norm, as it were, and be individualistic? But you're not being an individual. You are pigeonholing yourself in with other people. So you are not being individual. You are not, you know. So you just, well, anyway, that's the way I see things anyway. So, and it is my channel, so I say what I want. So there you go. But anyway, so psychologically, there are right. What was it that led Western European societies in the 19th century to begin to define sexuality as a characteristics of the individual? And it says here about sodomy. Previously, specific sexual practices such as sodomy had been condemned, for these were seen as the sinful acts that anyone might undertake, rather than indicators that a person was of a particular type. Basically, it means that anyone can practice sodomy, basically, and that is still the case today. So that you hear it in some churches, you go, oh, sodomy and everything like that, but nowadays they turn it against gay men, and but it's not. Sodomy was classed as a sin in the church, regardless if you were gay, straight, bisexual, transsexual, or whatever. It's just the act itself, not you know, so not the homosexuals, the gays, the queers. Yes, you can use the word queer because LGBTQ has taken that word back and used it as an umbrella over gay, bisexual, and whatever like that. So, and I will read that to you in a minute. So there you go. So don't get your knickers in a twist, Mrs. Jones. All right. So yeah, just hold on to your tits, Barbara. You go. But anyway, so from the late 19th century, however, anyone who engaged in such practices as sodomy began to be seen as a distinct and pathological kind of person, i.e., in the words of those days, a puff, a shirt lifter, a queer, a Nancy boy. Those were the names that were used, and lots of others. Believe me, I know. I've been called most of them most of my life. So there you go. And this can be seen very clearly. Blah 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 blah. Whatever like that. Right, it's okay. I'm reading as I go along here as well, so it is very interesting. So once you get into reading it, talking about question, right? Okay, sexual diversity. Before I read that, I will read you the sexual identities. Some sexual identities, right? So asexual, right? Asexual does not experience sexual attraction. Right, okay, people who are asexual does not experience sexual attraction. attraction, but that doesn't mean that they don't have sex. Some do, some don't. I class myself as an asexual because I don't have sex, and when I do have sex, I do enjoy it, but I don't go around panting it like a sex-starved poodle, as it were. But if I don't have it, I don't miss it. When I do have it, I want it, and then I have enough and go, oh, enough's enough now, you know. So that. And I've always been like that. I've not been very. I've never had a very high sex drive, I suppose, for want of a better word. So I think you'd class me as asexual. But it doesn't mean that I won't engage in sexual practices in the future. Just because I'm asexual doesn't mean that I abstain from sex totally. It's just the fact that I don't, like I said, I don't go panting after like a sex-starved poodle. But anyway, so that's asexual. Bisexual is attracted to more than one gender. Right, okay, nowadays it's like basically both male and female. That's being bisexual, because there are so many other gender identities. It says here sexual identities, but I'm just not going through, but the gender identities like non-binary and stuff like that, you know, so, and pansexual, shall cover here as well. It just basically means that a male and female. BDSM, and we all know what that means, don't we? But I shall read out what it says here. It's interested in bondage using restraints such as a rope or handcuffs, discipline, being punished and rewarded, and or domination and submission, taking charge of an encounter or allowing a partner to take charge, and or sadism, administering pain, and or masochism, receiving pain. BDSMers who enjoy being in positions of power may identify as top or dominant, top/dominant. Those who enjoy the other role may identify as bottom/submissive, and those who enjoy both may identify as switch/versatile. Right, this thing about top and bottom, that's also used in gay in gay relationships as well. Not all, but you know, that's, some gay men are top only, some gay men are bottom only, some gay men are versatile, and it's the same with the BDSM. But BDSM it's basically more, you know, more intense than that, if you know what I mean. So right, demisexual. Now this is the one that I've never heard of before. Demisexual only experiences sexual attraction to someone they already have an emotional connection with. So basically, demisexual, basically, I suppose it could mean somebody with a partner, or someone that I suppose it's like falling in love, like a teenager falling in love with a teacher, a teenager falling in love with a teacher, because even though it's a crush, I suppose you can call that as demisexual. It's like because there is a connection there. There is a connection in the teaching kind of thing. So I suppose. So don't quote me on that, but I'm sure you will. But there you go. Kinky enjoys BDSM or other sexual practices that are not considered usual. Lesbian is a woman who is attracted to other women. Gay man is a man who is attracted to other men. Pansexual experiences sexual attraction to people of all sexes and genders. Oh, right, okay. So you see, with me, just these words they are very new to me, and I'm part of the old regime, as it were. I don't understand these words, most of them. So this book has come in handy with understanding some of the words. But you know, so pansexual is just, well, you know, if is it another word for bisexual? If pansexual means, you know, so that you know, experiences sexual attraction to people of all sexes and genders. So pansexual, that could be another word for bisexual, because bisexual is attracted to more than one gender. So is it the same or very similar? Maybe, I don't know. Right, and this is the word that people hate, and funnily enough, it's mostly the people that aren't part of the community that hate it most. And it's the same with myself, with me calling myself a tranny. And the only people, and the people that say, oh, you shouldn't call yourself that, are the ones themselves that have nothing to do with the trans community. but they themselves would talk to their friends, oh, that tranny Tony, you know. So, but it's okay for them to say to their friends, but it's not okay for me to use it for myself because they think it's derogatory. But I'm not using it in a derogatory term. You are, if you're talking to other people about me, that tranny, you know, that tranny with a wolf dog kind of thing, you know. So, but you see, with me, I'm not one of those people who's going to shout and scream at other people saying, oh, no, you can't call me that, you can't call me this, you can't call me that. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I really don't care, because that is their problem. That's their lookout, isn't it? You know, so you can call me what you want, but don't call me after midnight, because I won't answer. Right. Queer, right, is non-heterosexual, usually. Queer was used as a pejorative term for non-heterosexuals, but it has been reclaimed by the LGBT communities and is often used as an umbrella term to refer to people, usually non-heterosexuals, whose sexuality is not seen as conventional by society. Right, okay, like being gay. Right, questioning. Of course, we all know this word questioning. Basically, it's questioning if you are exploring your sexual identity, really. But our sexual identity should not be our #1 priority. Being a good person should be our #1 priority. And I've always said that, and I always will do. Too many people, and I said this at the beginning of the video, too many people put so much emphasis on their sexuality that it blinds them from living their life properly. It's like, oh, I'm gay, and it doesn't matter if you're gay or not. You know, it really doesn't matter. It's what's in here that counts. Anyway, so questioning is like questioning, exploring sexuality. As was most of us have, if not all of us have done that. Yes, I have as well. Yes, and I have slept with women so in the past. So, same-gender loving is attracted to members of the same sex. This is a term used by some African-American people in preference to gay, lesbian, or bisexual. So basically, if they're in a same-sex relationship, whether they're gay or bi, they will use, oh, I'm in a same-sex partnership, or same-gender loving. Hey, you know, so it doesn't matter what you call yourselves, but again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. All these labels, it just really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you know, once we're dead and buried, it's like, who's going to know? Who's going to know, right? Okay, sapiosexual is primarily attracted to intelligence, and that's me. I am a bit of a sapiosexual, a sapiophile. I am attracted to guys who are intelligent. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. It's like it gets my nipples go ping. No, I'm not joking, right? And this one here, scoliosexual. Scoliosexual is attracted to people of non-binary gender. Those who do not identify as male or female, or men or women. That's a scoliosexual. So if somebody's attracted to an unbinary person, they are scoliosexual. But why labels? Why? Honestly, we don't need labels. We have enough. We get enough labeling off from society anyway. So why label ourselves again? You know.